All right, so today let's talk about the the topic that I've been always talking about, and that's hand pulling. All right, so and one of the symptoms, shall we say, is that the child will put your hand on top of things that he is trying to, or she is trying to solve, right? Or they cannot, he or she cannot really um, operate that thing. He will put your hand on top of it, right? And I'm saying he all the time is because 80% of children who are speech delayed are guys. So it sucks for males like I. And so let's say, hey, good morning, Lax Clippers. And so when that happens, what you should do, how you should think about it, and how do we go about it, right? So right now we're doing. I'm still finding a few more parents to join our 8-week program, and this is for parents who have a child who is pre-verbal, or so to speak, non-verbal. So how to distinguish the two, right? A pre-verbal is someone who is like slightly younger, around like 3.5, below 3.5, and haven't hasn't spoken it, right? And whereas like non-verbal is like someone, a child who is a little bit older in age, probably around 4 and above, and we would start to call nonverbal maybe if they're not using words. So this kind of definition is different everywhere, and please don't get too um, too into the weeds of the definition of words. And it's becoming more and more of a problem nowadays that people, oh, it's not this, it's that, whatever. But the thing is, we got to solve the symptoms, right? And the symptom is that they put their hands on top of things. They use you as a jar opener, right? They use you as a key to a door. They use you um, as a, like they use you to rock their chair. They use you for everything, right? I mean, they as in children. And we're not just talking about speech delay children. Even typical developing children would do that as well, because it's just normal that it happens, and they're like a little boss when it happens. It's like that. And to be very honest, this also happens with like elderly who are a little bit, they don't want to talk anymore, and it's just like like that. I remember my grandma would do that to me as well, just to tell me to do something for her. She would put my hand on top of stuff instead of talking. That happens a lot too. So why is it that this hand leading, hand guiding, hand pulling, whatever you call it, or putting your hand or whatever, then why is it that? Why is it apparent? Because it's the easiest way to get across the message, right? So let me say hi to everyone first. Hi, Bernadette. Hello. Hi, Ali. What's up? And hi, Hina. And why this is like so internationally, like I've been talking to so many parents right now, right? I've been talking, and I've checked last time when how many online consultations I've done. It's over 200 something, right? So I've been on the internet for quite some time now, teaching, and it's not an easy task. I just want to thank you for watching these, and if you're here right now, I want you to comment and tell me where you're watching from, right? Because the last time that I was really surprised that there were people watching from Japan, there were people from Saudi Arabia, and people even like some people from the Caribbean I've never been to. There are places that I have never imagined I could have a conversation with, which is very cool. So thanks for all that. And so this hand guiding thing is so universal. It's across cultures, across languages, and it's something that we have to deal with, right? And so the biggest thing that parents will jump into is basically teaching the child by asking them to say something first. The biggest advice that speech therapists online tell the parents to do are what is like well documented, and it works. It works, right? But it takes a long time, and that is to narrate everything you do, get down to your child's level, talk to them um, as if you just keep on talking. Those are fine, those are good, right? And why we need more than that is because when we are therapists are training parents like you, it takes awful lot of time to convince you that this really works, right? That's the first thing. And second of all, have you built up the relationship, the rapport to teach the child yet? The answer is often no, right? It really is often no. Um, and you say, a lot of parents will tell me, and I mean a lot, they will say, Ming, I don't have the patience. I'm not like you. It can't be me who teaches the kid. I'm so busy every day. Um, I have more than one kid, like it's just very difficult for me right now. All these words, all these phrases are actually quite self-fulfilling. The more you say it, the more it becomes a reality, right? And the more overwhelmed we become, right? So how do we deal with this? Well, so many people say, Brunei, wow, okay, that's cool. The UK, Pakistan, Malaysia. See, like this kind of topic, it just gets everyone talking, right? South Africa, Philippines, Bonicia, and I do not know how to pronounce that. Herzegovina. Man, it's very hard. Sorry. Dubai, Philippines, watching from the Philippines. So loads of Filipinos here. Very good. I think I'm gonna do something um, directed for Philippines. It's like a free seminar talk most probably. And I mean directed. It just means like the time zone would be okay for all of us in Southeast Asia. And I would try to learn more about how things are in Philippines and make a talk there just for the parents there, because I feel like a lot of people on Facebook are from Philippines that are watching me, so that's good. But by any means, Ed, anyone who comes, feel free to watch. Okay, it's just that the time zone would not be friendly to you. So yeah, and then to get rid of this hand pulling, we cannot just narrate out our way out of it, right? Because no amount of parallel talk or self talk, that's what the experts are saying, right? Oh, you got to get down to the level, whatever, right? And even if you go to the other extreme where you go to like ABA, right? The problem of that is that parents do not know how to create what they call contingent, right? They do not know how to have a structure where the child has to listen to them in order to have an item, right? And it becomes very rigid. Parents don't like it because it feels like they're teaching their child as if they were a dog or cat, right? And don't get me wrong, I also use those techniques. I really do. And I really do teach parents. And why do I do that? Is because that structure is actually easier to teach parents rather than this for the child. To be very naturalistic and know what you're doing is very difficult, even for a junior therapist, right? You must have some structure in the teaching in order for someone to actually follow. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah. So don't let it stop. Let me know where you guys from. Well, another from London and more from Philippines. That's excellent. Okay. So more about that. So what do we do instead? Because like I feel like you can, as a parent, you can read so many books, right? You can attend seminars that are like $3,000. Just a parent emailed me and said, "Oh, Ming, nowadays the parent coaching seminars are like 3K. Getting a kid to be assessed, even in Jakarta. I'm in Indonesia. Okay, so um, there's a certain company that I used to work for. My very first job there. They're excellent company, right? Very good. And then they came to Indonesia and they asked for a lot of money just for an assessment, right? And I'm not going to say the name. I mean, like if you search, like you would know which one. But the stuff is good. But the problem is, how does it connect back to the parent, right? They do a lot of parent training. So let me talk about it. So all these things that you see on the internet, you've seen it so many times, you still don't know how to implement it at home, right? So that's why I've restructured the whole learning experience in Agents of Speech, right? All the stuff that you see online now is that I teach. I do not hold secrets. All the stuff that I tell you already, and to the best of my ability, right? The reason why I don't go into like depths, because if I go really deep, not many people will actually watch it. That's number one. Number two is, if I go really deep, you don't have the prior knowledge and you haven't done enough to gain value from that. So therefore, all the stuff online, all the free stuff online is already good enough for you to go for it, right? If you've done it and you can show us that you're doing it, right? I'll give you feedback for real, right? If you are able to do that, like, go through the videos, do exactly that, do it every day, as we say, then like post it in Facebook, inside of Facebook group, our Facebook group, right? Send us an email or whatever. And if it's something that you need help with, I will help you, right? The problem with a lot of parents is that they give me a very generic situation, and of course I can fill in the blanks for it because I've heard from you guys so much, right? If you decided to like tell me, oh, the situation is like this at home, I can very easily tell you and fill in the blanks and guess what's happening, right? This morning I was talking to a couple from not California. Where was it? I forgot, but it was in USA. Okay, and basically, they said a little bit already knew what was happening, and the reason is because it's just nearly all the same. Okay, so if like for the hand pulling, it's very easy, and let me tell you now, there are no secrets. There aren't any like methods. Like people always say, oh, you need talk tools, you need prompts, you need whatever. You don't need that stuff. You need consistency and one method that you keep on using every day. All right. And it doesn't matter if it's like extremely structured or is it like language facilitation, whatever. Like parents know more things than I do. Do you know the Sun program? Like, do you know the whatever program? Do you know floor time? Do you think it's suitable for my kid? No, I don't care if it's suitable for a kid, to be very honest. I don't care if it's evidence-based or not, right? As long as you keep on doing it every day and you yourself can keep onto it and you can see the progress every day a little bit, and you can tell yourself, okay, this is working, I must keep on doing it, right? Then that's the right way. You get what I mean? So it's not about what you're doing or how you do it, is to see if that you can convince yourself that's working. A lot of times what the narrative is in the mother's heart or mind is like, there are so many things I want the kid to do. I want him to read. I want him to talk. I want him to play nicely. I want him to socialize. I want him to like eye contact. I want him to focus, right? I want him to be good at school. All these things can be done with one thing only. Now, let me tell you what it is, right? So we go through this in the 8-week program. And if you want to, I'll just we have a chat bot going on. I'm sorry if it's a chat bot because there's too many people asking, like there's just too many chats going on whenever I put the link up. So if you want to, you can PM me on Facebook with the word talk, and then it will start the process in the bot. So what we're doing in this 8-week course is that we're getting more testimonials, we're getting more case studies from parents, and then we're gonna make a whole base of people who have gone through this process and make sure that we can eliminate this hand pulling. So let me tell you it now. And the reason why we need to make a group is because I want to keep you accountable so that you have a bunch of parents to do it together. And it's not for free, okay? A lot of parents are like, how is it for free? It's not for free, okay? Or else it's very difficult to actually get people to do stuff. You know how many times I've given free service? All right, the second time on Zoom, they're already gone. Like the parents just ghost me, right? They say, oh, I need help, whatever. But well, like I really, like it's just really very difficult for me. Like a lot of parents just say, it's not for me. I think I'll just go for therapy. And then, yeah, well, if you are that kind of parent, then this will not be good for you, because if you want to outsource the therapy work, then that's totally fine with me, because I'm a therapist too, right? I make money this way, in fact, yeah. But what I'm trying to say is like this 8-week is to eliminate that hand pulling. And if you want to, you can start a chat. You can click on the link in the comments and or in the description. All right, click it and start to talk. Type talk, TALK. Nearly couldn't spell it. Okay, so what are you doing those 8 weeks? Very easy. And this is what we've been talking about in YouTube as well, right? On videos that we give you. And how we do it is we create a routine, right? A very simple routine that requires the kid to just put the hand out. So, not here, friend. You have to private message me, okay? So you have to put your hand out. Like the kid has to put their hands out, open palm. We've talked about this before, right? And in the open palm, it's not just like snatching or whatever. And it's very difficult. So someone is saying, please share my YouTube channel. It's Agents of Speech. So like this. So if you can search that You can search that, then it'll be good. So if you see it, that's my YouTube. Um, so yeah, where was I? So the first week is all about getting your child to sit down nicely and wait. Because if your child can't wait and put their hands out, they're always in the mode to use you as a tool, right? You're always a bottle opener. You're always someone, a handyman to fix stuff. You're like in our introduction course, you're like a vending machine, right? We talk about you're like a vending machine. They press buttons and something comes out. If they don't come out, then they get frustrated and they kick you like a vending machine. Dude, it's not working. I'll kick you. They're not treating you as if you were a human. They were treating you as if you were a problem-solving mechanism, right? That's why you don't see the eye contact. That's why you don't see the socializing, the play that you want. And that's because they are not the children. They don't see you as someone, as a playmate or someone that is resourceful. They see you as a vending machine. They press buttons. They take you for granted. They want things to come out. If things don't come out or that doesn't solve the problem, they get a tantrum and kick you until you do. And sometimes kicking you so many times, it actually does work and you give in. And therefore, you have a vicious cycle. So that vicious cycle is a routine that we have to break in the first week, right? Make sure that you're active to go ahead and teach the child instead of passively waiting the child to come to you, right? That's the first week. The second week is all about getting them to start to use some gestures. We talk about like open a lot, right? You don't have to join. If you want someone to guide you through it and watch your videos and give you feedback and have like a bunch of parents to like go along with you, then by all means, like PM me, right? And I need to tell you again, it's a chat bot that you will start, and you need to answer the questions first. And then after you finish answering the questions, a real human will look at it. Either me or someone from my team will look at it. And then if you're a good fit, you can join. All right. And if you're not, then it's okay, because everything that we're gonna do different intensives for different levels of children's language level. But just so now we need to get most 80-90% of parents who I talk to are like, oh, my kid doesn't talk, I pulls my hand, whatever. So let's eliminate that. Let's create a process on the internet that just solves that. And once your child starts speaking in single words and you have the confidence that you can do this, then we can talk about other stuff, right? Because most of the time, how it works online. So I'm going on a tangent again. I'm sorry. So how it goes online is that a lot of times they search on the internet. There's too much information. There's not like one thing they should be doing. So this thing, I'm just telling you exactly. You just need to master how to create routines and use gestures, and then you'll get rid of hand pulling. Right? In my folder, I have right now in my hard drive, I've got hundreds of videos from parents from past coaching sessions, right? And I'm ready to share it, and parents have given me their green light to share it and show you what it takes and what errors and what I've learned as a coach that I can immediately tell you and get results. Right now we're into like the week 3 of our first second batch, right? So those parents are seeing some good results. We're seeing I'll show it to you if I haven't asked consent yet, but I have to ask first. So I see that children are starting to use gestures in week 2, right? They're starting to use it instead of snatching, instead of crying. They're a lot more calm. They can sit nicely. They look a lot more. They're ready, right? And mind you, we have never targeted eye contact, right? A lot of parents ask me, "How do we do eye contact? Are you gonna talk about eye contact inside of your course?" I'm like, "No, we're not going to, because eye contact is the result of a child unable to sit down nicely and talk to you and interact with you. So therefore, in the 8 weeks, we're gonna have parents master how to create routines, teach them how to use gestures." Excuse me. And then also create play routines to get them away from just wanting to play with just eating food and stuff. Just eating food, watching the iPad, that kind of interaction, right? And to top this off, it only takes 10 to 15 minutes a day, right? Because you cannot, if your child is 2.5 to 3, you cannot have them so concentrated for so long. And you're saying, dude, man, you speech therapy goes on for 45 minutes. What are you on about, right? No, it's we do it in like 10 to 15 minute blocks. We have like 3 goals, and we use those three goals and we chop them into 10 to 15 minute blocks, and we have like 5 minute break in between for play, right? So that is what it is about this thingy. I've been thinking a lot about it and how to make it so that it makes sense, right? I mean, the micro course and the intro course is still on our website, and feel free to join. But and a lot of parents are saying, is it the same thing or not? And I'm like saying, no, it's not the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of there's some overlap, but at the same time, this time we've condensed everything into just one thing you have to do every week, right? Just imagine, and I've looked through the people who have coached before, and that's exactly how we got them to start like talking in words, right? And that's the biggest hurdle, I believe. And once we get there, the next step is pretty easy. And we'll talk about that later once we have a system online that gets rid of hand pulling. I mean, that's the biggest thing ever, right? And then after that, we have another thingy, another system that gets a child from single words to multi words things, right? So that's my goal here, and I want it to share with you. So if you want to, I'm saying this again, is that you can click on the link inside of our description, and it will pop up a chat bot. And this is for parents who have children who are still hand pulling and haven't used words to talk about their needs yet. If your child is already speaking in phrases and words, please do not join, because that's not for you. Okay, we will have something else for you later on. All right, and maybe you can watch the videos online in our YouTube channel about how to combine words, or join our word combiners course. But word combine, like a lot of courses, get really good results for parents. Obviously, it's a very sensitive topic, so there are reviews. If you go there and take a look, there are reviews. But at the same time, I just wanted to create something that is so easy, right? So easy to do, right? So Jennifer is here again. Yo, hey, you're late? No, you're not late. And then Ashlyn said, I follow methods, and now my son is not hand pulling. He now uses one word to say what he wants. Exactly. That is what I want for everyone. And I want to make it so that it's easy for anyone to just follow, right? And I'm trying to like put it into 8 weeks. And if 8 week works, then how can we make it into 6, into 4, right? And it's like the best program on the internet, right? Okay, you're making a lot of progress. That's excellent. That's really good. And then, like all this, I always tell the parents, right? I always tell the parents who work with me, I was like, I don't want to see you guys here. Oopsies, press the wrong button. I don't want to see you guys here. I want to, like teach you guys for like a year or 2 or maybe 3. And then now that you know everything, that like how I would think, how I would teach a child, and I don't want to see you again, because then you have the tools to go on with it, right? The reason why that this online platform, making videos and stuff, is to make myself disappear, to make myself obsolete, right? And I stole this word from someone else, obviously. And I believe that making myself obsolete would be really cool, because now I can relax a little bit more. And because the information is so much clearer online, it's, I just like, even for junior therapists, and I have junior therapists emailing me and asking me, how do I do like simple play therapy? It's not that hard. And I had to learn from my seniors too, right? So at the end of the day, let's make it so easy that you can implement it right away, right? Just one thing every week. And yeah, so I think I'm pretty much finished talking about this, but let me just go through the weeks that I've been planning, right? And we're doing right now. So week 1, just for open palm, just get that done. And that open palm is more for the parent, not for the kid, because it's so easy, right? It's so easy for the kid, so easy for the parent to understand what therapy dynamic should be, right? But I don't say it explicitly. That's what I want you to learn. Okay. Secondly, the week 2 is all about open gestures, right? What gestures can you teach the kid to get what they want, not talking? Week 3, we're talking about some vocalizations. Any sound, we're just targeting sounds. Whatever sounds can the kid make, right? Creating routines that encourage the kid to say word sounds or vocalizations, right? Week 4, we're trying to hone into play routines that has multiple steps, and we want to make sure that more gestures and sounds are like just bombarded onto the kid, right? Week 5, we're gonna make sure that the child starts listening to some commands. All right, and that's because at week 5, why do we do that? And that's because at week 5, that's the appropriate time to see how much a child can understand. All right, we're gonna do some commands, right? And then week 6, we're gonna try out what sounds the child has. If they already, like by week 6, they should understand how to imitate, right? So then we can take a look at what sounds there are, and if they cannot say some words, is it because of the imitation skills aren't ever very good, right? And so we will go through a bunch of words, right? Can we start doing flashcards instead of just playing, just doing play therapy, right? And then we can increase their vocab by a lot, right? Week 7 is all about just putting everything together and having a super good routine and structure in therapy, right? Do we have play? Yes. Do we have structured tasks? Yes. Do we have receptive language skill tasks like commands, answering questions, so on? All right. And then week 8 is all about just thinking about the next steps. Is your child ready to speak in phrases? Because if it's a 2-word phrase, you need to have both a verb and a noun at the very least, right? And so we go through the list. We make sure the boom, 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 boom. We have this amount of words, and that's what we do as well. We think about, okay, is it hitting 150 words at the very least? Okay, so they do have these, and they do have the small parts to the words, right, to make phrases. Then okay, we can go for it. And as we're doing this, right, we're keeping a folder of all the progress and making sure that we record the stuff properly. And this is super hard because first of all, just and that's why I'm not seeing everyone, right? I'm not putting this totally very public on the website or just telling just telling everyone to join, because we have to mark it down and we have to make sure that the parents joining are willing to share their progress with me, or else it's very hard, right? I mean, the micro course that you guys have been hearing about for a long time on agents of speech, you know how many parents have joined? 2,000 something, 3,000, right? That's a lot of people. Okay, and it's a good thing because it's a good product, I would think, because I've talked to so many parents that can read their minds, and the micro course has become like FAQ, and they're like, oh man, I was about to ask you this, but you know what, your course has already talked about it. So that's why I'm keeping it there. I think it's a good product, and we're slowly shifting towards where the information itself is going to be free, right? On YouTube, on Facebook, in whatever. Just by it won't be organized in a course manner, so to speak, but all the information is out there for you to look, right? But if you join Agents of Speech, it's going to be a lot more coaching, hands-on, and we're going to tell you exactly what one task to do for each step, and we're going to guide you through. Okay, so I think that is the thing that I wanted. I think that's the thing that I wanted to allude to tonight. And if you guys have any questions, please put it in the comment section now, so I can like go through and take a look as well. Right. So I see that a bunch of you guys have already started to like fill in my chat. So that's excellent. So let me know more, because I don't think we can take too many more parents this next month, because there are already quite a few inside, and I just wanted to like make sure that everyone gets enough attention from me. And so once it hits a certain amount of parents, we're just going to stop, and we're just going to make sure that everyone gets a good get good results, because at the end of the day, that's what I want, right? Have you seen online that there is a method that is like hundreds of people have said that it works for speech therapy? I mean, the reason why there isn't is because not everyone goes through with it. and the actions, there are too many actions to take. For instance, um, I have a friend who owns a speech therapy center, not speech therapy, therapy center, and during COVID, we were all shifting towards like coaching parents online or doing online sessions, and um, I, she's a great friend. She's really good, and at the same time, I question her why would they give out um, a data sheet, a data folder for the parent to tick and stuff. It's impossible. Even professionals, we don't have enough time for that. We have to like scramble and try our best to collect data, right? So if you ask the parent to execute and collect data and report back to you, that's impossible, right? So that's why I'm always thinking, what's the one thing that you can do at home that will eliminate most of the things that you want to do or get how to do. Okay. So someone, I guess in the Facebook group is asking, I can't see your name. How many times it takes daily if we join an 8-week course? We are working full time and have time after 5 p.m. Great. There are loads of full-time parents inside of our group. Okay. So how it works is that I want you to like in week 1, I will tell you to schedule a time inside of your calendar, just 10 to 15, only 15 minutes at night. And I want it to be at the same time every day of you just doing it, right? Just doing that only. Okay. That's all I'm asking for. And if you can if you can put 2 to 3 hours a week into this, you're going to be happy with the results. Okay. And this 8-week is self-paced, right? Of course, the best is that you finish within 8 weeks and you're very diligent with it. But if anytime you need more time, that's fine. I'm okay with it as long as you're reporting back the results. And other parents are other parents are going to be like 6 weeks ahead of you, and they can help you out and answer questions and give you the motivation too. All right. I hope that answers your question. So that's a time thing. And we had before, during the pandemic, a parent came to me. She's like, "Oh, can I come?" But it's impossible because I had elderly at home. Right? I would see elderly every day. I didn't want to expose myself during that time. And so it became like an online thing. And that mother, sorry, my cat's crying. That mother had a full-time job. She ran an e-commerce store part-time, and she also went to church on Sundays. But she would still be able to send me videos every day. I didn't ask her to send every day. Just update me like a few days into it, and that whenever she had problems, right? So yeah, you just make time. There's always, I understand where it's coming from. When I was working full time, I couldn't even talk after work. That's because I was so tired all the time. Like I was so tired. I can't talk. Right. But if you're in for this, and my job is just talking a lot. And one time I was doing a job that wasn't talking. It was more of an office job. I felt so much better. I didn't know that speech therapy or therapy work was a lot more and how to say a lot more demanding than a average office job. I didn't know, right? No wonder people could go for happy hour. I could barely stay awake. I was sleeping on the train. Right? I was sleeping on 9 p.m. by accident because I was so tired. I didn't know. So, if you could spare 15 minutes one day, schedule it in your calendar. Don't forget about it. And what you should do is even if you don't join, you should still do this, right? You should anchor that time with another thing so that you don't forget. So for instance, do you forget to eat dinner? No, you don't, because it's so inside of your routine, right? Do you forget to brush your teeth? Most people do, but why do they remember? Because it's always in the toilet. So before you sleep, you're gonna do stuff in the toilet. You're gonna take a shower or whatever. So it's gonna remind you because of environmental cues. So can you schedule a time that is anchored with something else? So I always say maybe after dinner, before dinner, right? Before sleep. That's also fine. How about first thing in the morning? Get it out of the way, right? It's like gym. It's like going for fitness and stuff. You anchor it with something, and you like just keep at it, right? And like a lot of therapy is just doing the same thing over and over again until you see the results, and it's working because the kid's calm. Whenever the kid is calm and they're reacting and getting better and better little by little bit, then they'll be fine, right? You just have to remember that. Got it? Um, so yeah, I think like the notion of I do not have enough time is valid, but at the same time, it's less time than you would think so. Because a lot of experts would say, oh, like language development takes like 3 hours a day to bombard your child with the correct like language rich environment. Boom, 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 boom. But then the thing is, quality language environment is hard to maintain. That's first of all. Second of all, the thing that people always say is like, oh, everyone's a working parent nowadays. No one is really at home, right? And I mean, that's just the tragedy of a developed world, right? We need two salaries to keep the family going, and I know that very well. If you're not working in some countries, then you get looked down on as well. There's a lot of social economic factors about working and stuff, but at the same time, it's very important. I feel like this should be your, if not, yeah, I really think for a mother or a father, this is something within the top priority to deal with, because if you pay either way, you either pay with your time, or you pay with money. You get someone to do it for you, or you pay with the stress and the worry that comes with it, right? So that's the thing. It's the same as a lot of things in life. You have to make time for it, right? And I'm not a parent. I'm not anyone. But what I can tell you is that making these videos, doing stuff online, it took a lot of time as well, right? And obviously, I had a lot of work offline, and how I made it happen in the beginning was, just waking up at like 5 a.m., 4 a.m. to start working on stuff, right? And that's because it's very important to me. And I haven't seen like results. No one watched these lives when I just started. Literally, no one watched it. No one clicked onto the emails. No one did anything. I just kept at it because I knew it was improving. And I hope that you can put this type of mentality into teaching a child, because the only reason why people are slightly looking at my stuff nowadays is because I have that mentality for my students, right? And I always tell the story about my first student. His name I'm not going to say. Let's say his name is John, okay? And then he went from like no words to speaking in sentences. He went from scared of going outside of the therapy room to like walking with me down to McDonald's holding my hand. We went from a lot of stuff. We went through so much together. I learned so much from him. If it wasn't for him, I would have changed my job, did something else, right? And this dude, I would call him John. I don't know where he is right now. Don't even know how old he is. Probably like 11 now. My God. And the only reason we stopped was because the parent wanted to try medical intervention, which I didn't know what that meant. I still don't really know. And they left. It just takes a lot of time. That time was gone when they decided to pull him out of therapy. And so the parents weren't going to do it. They were going to send him to somewhere else. And I felt that was a huge opportunity wasted, because we put so much time and effort into it. And I learned so much through teaching that kid. And now I don't know where he is, don't know what he's saying. I'm pretty sure he's verbal, very verbal, because we are. But at the same time, it really is something that parents have to be careful, because if you don't believe that this type of behavioral intervention works, so everything we do, speech therapy, ABA therapy, occupational therapy, whatever therapy, is at a behavioral level, right? If you don't believe behavioral level, we can teach children and have them become better at communicating, then there's no point, right? You can seek for spiritual healing. You can seek for medical attention. You can seek for dietary stuff. But at the end of the day, you gotta be very you gotta think about what's something you can keep on doing, right? And you can believe that it's gonna happen. And it will only happen if you keep on doing it. Okay. So I think that's it for tonight's live. I don't want to go on and on and on. I mean, I could. Um, I've been well trained to talk for a long time, but I don't want this to be like something that doesn't really have a point anymore, right? So last thing is that if you do really want to, you can click on the link in the description, or you can also private message me on Facebook, on my Facebook page, and say talk, TALK, just like that, to trigger the chat bot to start chatting to you. And then once you answer all the questions, a human will come and talk to you and see if you're a good fit for the program. All right. So Ali, before we leave, okay, Ali says, sometimes it's hard to understand my kid. Yeah, sometimes it's hard. But, like if the thing is, like, if you don't understand, make sure that you find other eyes to look at your child. It doesn't matter if, why I'm saying this is because inside of our Facebook group, of which I'm doing a live right now inside, but very little people see it in the group because of Facebook. But anyways, I see it's already grown to a place where I cannot look at all the comments anymore. There's too much. And there are like 9,000 something members inside, and some of the comments from parents and some therapists, I personally believe are totally wrong. So it really depends. Like, choose someone that you trust and just stick with them. Like, it doesn't need to be me. Stick with her. That's 80%, 90% of the industry, a woman. So just stick with that person. It doesn't need to be me. Just do it every day. It doesn't need, I don't care if it is me or not. Obviously, I wouldn't mind. But at the same time, let's keep it consistent. Do something every day. Don't let it sit there, because the more you think, is he going to grow out of it, the more risk you're taking, right? It's not like he or she wouldn't. It probably would get better. But to what extent are you doing something about it today, right? That's the thing I wanted to say. All right. Ali said, thank you for teaching and believing in John. So yeah, John is the pseudo name of that kid. Yeah, don't know where he is right now, but yeah, sometimes I do that guy is cool. He really taught me a lot, although he bit me many times. But I hope he's good right now. All right. So that's all for tonight's live. Went a little longer than I wanted to, but definitely, if you want to join the 8-week program, please go click the link, or just private message me, talk. That's all. See you guys. Bye-bye.